And it apparently makes like every woman ever incredibly horny, and they're just like buying into everything. They just start making out with chicks. Gotta figure out what that gas is. What is going on, everybody? Jeff Porter from Cinema Reactor. Happy Friday. Looking forward to the weekend. I help you guide you in there. Let's take a look at this fucking dumpster fire real fast, huh? 2006 Minotaur stars Tom Hardy in his first lead role. It's a good thing he got past this because he's put out a lot of good stuff since. According to IMDb, long ago in the Iron Age, a shadow loomed over a lonely village. For generations, the village youths were stolen from their families and delivered as sacrifice to a mythical beast, the Minotaur that dwells beneath a great palace. So Minotaur is supposed to be kind of a play off of, classic Greek mythology about Theseus going and slaying the Minotaur. Something I'm actually like. I'm a big fan of Greek mythology. I think it started with Hercules.
Honey, you mean Hercules?
And so I actually know like quite a bit about like this story. We kind of got a little glimpse of it in Immortals in 2011 with Superman. He goes in to slay the Minotaur, and instead of the ball of twine that is given to him to remember his way, he just slashes the back of his leg to leave a bloody footprint. I guess we've gotten close to this story a couple of times. If you know a film that like is actually a really good kind of like retelling of Theseus slaying the Minotaur, drop it below because I would love to watch it. Minotaur 2006. Let's get a couple things out of the way. First of all, this film stars, like I said, Tom Hardy. Tony Todd is in it for Candyman. He's in it for quite a while. But I mean, he does all kinds of, kind of straight to DVD horror films. I feel like Tony Todd just enjoys being like in these kind of movies. So, I mean, it's cool to see Tony Todd, but I feel like he kind of knew what was going on. Rutger Hauer's in it for probably the first 20 minutes. He plays the father of Tom Hardy, which was kind of cool. I did not know that he was in this, and then I saw him, so that was kind of a cool little treat. This would have been like a year after Batman Begins, right after he was in that, so it's kind of cool that he went from Batman Begins and he's like, let's go do this film about a Minotaur.
A Minotaur.
So the opening of this film is fucking crazy. We get the backstory of like how the Minotaur came to be, and it's pretty similar to like the mythology of it. A lot of lust from a queen. Yeah, they send her to fuck a bull. Anyway, so they give us kind of a quick backstory of like how this creature came to be. So when the prince is killed on the island, the dwellers blame the villagers and are sentenced to give 8 young women per year to satisfy the Minotaur. So every year, these villagers, who are just people, by the way, they come to take a bunch of people from this village, which I don't know how they can get away with 8 young people a year. I mean, they're just a small village. They're going to be running out of people soon. Rutger Hauer is just like cool with it. He's like, no, yeah, we have to please them. It's what we got to do, nobody can do anything about it. And then Tom Hardy's like, nah, this is horseshit, man. They took my girlfriend. I'm gonna go kill the goddamn bull. So what gives Tom Hardy the idea to begin with is there's this crazy lady who lives in the woods who comes with crazy stories. She's the town loon, and she tells him that he'll be the one to slay the beast and everything. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna go do it.
That's syphilis.
So he sneaks in there. He puts himself with the other prisoners. He's like, all right, let's go fucking do this. So once they arrive at the palace, it's run by Tony Todd. Tony Todd's like the king of this thing, and he makes all the sacrifices for the Minotaur.
A Minotaur.
I keep saying Minotaur, and this is something that we'll probably talk about a bit. Not a Minotaur, like at all. A Minotaur is half bull, half man. This thing is a mix between like a Jurassic Park dinosaur and a zombie cow. I can't explain it. And I understand that this is like a low budget horror film. I mean, it was put out by Lionsgate. Lionsgate fucking takes everything. But God, not only does it look bad, but it's not Like, I feel like it would have been easier just to make a Minotaur
A Minotaur.
than to create this thing. For real, you could have done a Minotaur pretty practically. Like, if you got a bodybuilder figure and then constructed this thing, like this huge helmet, shoulder vest thing, I think it would have not only been cheaper, it would have looked better, and actually looked like a goddamn Minotaur. It's the biggest thing about this film that pisses me off. It's not even like how terrible everybody is or like how ridiculous the story is and how far it gets away from the actual mythology. It's just the stupid fucking creature. It's not a Minotaur. I don't understand what the hell it is. And on that note, I should say that, in the stories, Theseus is the one who kills the Minotaur. Well, we can't do that. So we have Theo. By the way, remember to like and subscribe, or Tony Todd is going to
Bear my seed.
like, how hard would it be just to make a film? Are the stories not interesting enough? I understand that, like, oh, he just had a bowl of twine and that's how... Okay, but the story itself is interesting enough. Like, you don't need to add to it. You don't need to fuck it up. And this is just like they took the idea of the labyrinth. Basically, that's it. Like, it's just a labyrinth, and then with this thing in there, and they have to make some kind of like cheap thriller horror film with lots of blood, and they're like, we don't give a fuck about the story. Like, how? Ugh. What's crazy too is, like, with all the crap that's been made since 2006, like, if this was released today, it'd probably be considered a good movie. So back to the actual story. Theo makes his way, and he winds up in the labyrinth with the other people from his village. They actually find this guy who's been surviving down there. He found this little crevice in the labyrinth and set up like a little camp. He's been eating rats and stuff. It's basically Gollum.
Long time is alone here. Eating hope and rats. Sneaky little hobbitses.
And he's been drawing out the labyrinth. So, already you don't have the need for the twine. You don't have the need for Immortals Theseus to cut his leg. It's just... And then there's this whole thing with the gas. There's, like, this weird gas that's coming out of the labyrinth. And, like, Tony Todd is, like, huffing it through these horns. He's like, oh, yeah. And it apparently makes, like, every woman ever incredibly horny, and they're just, like, buying into everything. They just start making out with chicks. Gotta figure out what that gas is. The whole time, there's this gas thing going on in the labyrinth that they use to, like, light their palace and stuff. This all comes back. You think it's some stupid thing. No, they're like, oh, this is the big money ticket right here. You think this gas? You like this gas? Wait till the end. Basically everything that happens in the labyrinth, the Minotaur...
A Minotaur.
I don't even want to call it a Minotaur. The zombie bull kills everybody except for Tom Hardy and Tony Todd's sister. By the way, they're making out, and he wants to...
I ask that you bear my seed.
But they're brother sister, so you get some nice little incest, So there's the mythology angle. But the whole thing culminates to where Theo coerces the zombie bull to run at him, Toro kind of thing. The zombie bull crashes through the labyrinth wall, releases this gas. It starts filling up all the chambers. He starts a little spark and barbecues everything. But of course, zombie bull's not dead yet. He gets stabbed through the head with his own horn that Theo pulls out of the wall. And this isn't even to mention that the whole reason Theo wants to go is because his girlfriend was taken. He thinks that she's still alive and he wants to go rescue her. This movie's fucking wild, dude. It's funny because this has been on my list for a while. Like, I remember first seeing it on Tubi and I was like, Tom Hardy? Oh man, I need to watch this. So it's been sitting on my list forever. And then finally, with Cinema Reactor, I'm like, you know what? This would be a great time to finally fucking sit down and watch this. Boy, I'm glad I did. This is amazing. The funny thing, too, is I would actually recommend that you watch this. Not because, like, the story's good or, like, the stupid zombie bull, but just because Tom Hardy, like... Even though this is an awful movie, you could still see glimpses of, like, oh yeah, like he could do good stuff. But man, it was at time, especially like if you're a fan of this original story, it can be hard to sit there and watch. And so, I mean, if you're in for like just a general monster movie with some blood, definitely go check it out. Like everything else we've reviewed, it's on Tubi. I love Tubi. Completely free. I don't even know what to say about it. It's yeah, I mean, it's got Tom Hardy in his first lead role. So if you're a fan of Tom Hardy, you want to see like 2006 Rutger Hauer and Tony Todd, give it a watch. All right, guys, I will see you guys Tuesday. Have a good weekend.